All right. Okay. Yes. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. Yeah. So, ladies, the Sistine Chapel, am I right? Anywho, welcome back to my stand-up comedy routine. For those that don't know, my name is Richard, middle name Inya, last name Mouth. The ladies can call me Dick. The gentlemen shall call me Richard. And if you're neither of those, well, you can call me anytime. Alright, well, it's been about 2 months since I've done one of these. Man, that is quite a long time to go without doing a stand-up routine. I think I've gone longer without having sex, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get this party started, shall we, by talking about something that happened relatively recently. The Super Bowl. So, Seattle picked up the Super Bowl victory and did so in convincing fashion. You know, if I had a nickel for every time Seattle won the Super Bowl in convincing fashion, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it is weird that it's happened twice, you know? And you can say whatever you want about New England, about how they had a relatively easy schedule. But I mean, hey, going from like 4 wins in 2024 to reaching the Super Bowl the very next season, that's quite impressive. I mean, that is a fast turnaround. And I know a thing or two about fast turnarounds. You can make with that whatever you will. Let's see. What else has been going on? Well, we recently had Valentine's Day. That's pretty cool. Not for someone like me, but I would imagine that anyone watching this had a good Valentine's Day. Let me know in the comments what you did on Valentine's Day. That would be good material for me to cry over, so I look forward to it. We also had President's Day happen. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm recording this in the final hours of President's Day, so, happy birthday, George. Sorry that your birthday was miserable. Anyways, we had a bunch of big surprises and stuff happening. The Olympics are going on. That's pretty cool, I guess. I think the last time I checked, the country of Norway currently holds the most medals of all the countries that are participating. I actually once saw a thing, I don't know how true this is, but I saw that one of the Ukrainian Olympic athletes had a thing that was in commemorance of Ukrainians that were assassinated by Russians, and for some reason they deemed that it was not appropriate and banned the athlete from the competition. Again, I'm not sure how true this is, but I mean, it would not surprise me in the slightest if that were true. I mean, could you imagine not being able to use your freedom of speech? It'd be crazy. Almost as crazy as being listed in the Epstein files and not arrested, Thankfully, Richard Mouth was not a big deal when Jeffrey Epstein was still alive, so you don't have to worry about me being in the files. But you know what is something to worry about? Just how expensive WrestleMania tickets are. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about how an average nosebleed seat is around $700, which for any event that's pretty big, and I get that WrestleMania is WWE's biggest show of the year, but I mean $700 for nosebleeds, if I wanted nosebleeds, I'd tell someone to punch me in the face. They'd probably get in trouble for it, but they wouldn't care. Let's see. What else has been going on? Well, I mean, we've had all-star breaks in sports like basketball and hockey. Uh, Basketball always has theirs around this time of the year. Hockey's is more so because of the Olympics, as several of the hockey players are participating in the event. Speaking of the Olympics and hockey in particular, I saw Canada had a 10-2 victory over France's team, which is, well, when you have guys like Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby on a team, it's pretty expected to have a big win. Can you imagine if Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby were on the same team, though? Like, not even like for Team Canada purposes, but I mean like on the same NHL team. Like that team would just be an automatic favorite for the cup, Like try stopping them, They're an immovable object, You need an irresistible force. And who is going to be that irresistible force? Probably some team from America, because Canadians can't do shit in hockey apparently, or at least that's how it's been for like the last 30 years at the professional level. Going back to WWE and WrestleMania stuff, they've got some big things planned for their big show. The only thing that's really set in stone is the men's Royal Rumble winner, Roman Reigns, going up against CM Punk for the world title. Of course, they're running the story that Punk is putting that match in jeopardy by facing Finn Balor for the title at the Elimination Chamber event. Of course, the Elimination Chamber event being in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago, so it honestly seems kind of fitting that they're having the match there, since they already had a world title match in Finn Balor's home territory of Ireland. So it's kind of a full circle, and I hope to see what they do with that scenario. But nonetheless, the whole Reigns Punk thing seems to be the only thing that's like kind of set in stone. Like, nobody really knows what's going to happen or like what matches are going to take place at Mania. But then again, like at the time of recording this, Mania is like 2 months away, so who knows what's going to happen. But I can tell you what's going to happen right here, right now. And it's the part of the video where I get to tell you 5 jokes that I am sure will tickle your ribs and fracture your spine. So, here we go. Where do you learn to make a banana split? Sunday school. How do you make 7 even? Just take away the S. I didn't believe that it was true, but I guess it is true that it takes a lot of guts to be an organ donor. I always like telling jokes at the end of these videos, but there was this one time I told a joke about chemistry, and it didn't get a reaction. One thing I like doing is looking at the trees outside of my house. They're dogwood trees. I mean, you can tell it's a dogwood tree just by its bark. And with that in mind, those are the 5 jokes that I am sure will tickle your ribs and fracture your spine. Thank you for once again coming to my stand-up routine. My name is Richard, middle name Inya, last name Mouth. And like I always say, nobody is above the law. Unless you're a Republican. Good night, everybody.